Center.
Okay, now.
Welcome to Northern Lights Spiritual Center, a community of people dedicated to using spiritual and practical principles to create lives we want to live. Northern Lights Spiritual Center offers practical and spiritual tools to make positive changes in our lives. My name is Reverend Mykal Amaré, and I am here today with Reverend Mykal Amaré, who will be leading our talk, and then we are present here with Reba Schneider. So we're very grateful to have a little crew of folk here, and the people that are out in Zoom and the people that are on Facebook. We at Northern Lights Spiritual Center acknowledge our presence here on the traditional and unceded lands of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish and Salish peoples. These people are still here, and we join with them in how they continue to honor and bring to light their ancient heritage. We seek to resist the erasure of Indigenous histories as we work towards honoring and inviting the truth. Please join me for our opening song, In This Very Room, by Ron and Carol Harris. In this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough peace and quite enough power to walk through our every fear. For Spirit, sweet Spirit, is in this very room. In this very room. So for today's meditation, I'm going to invite us to just settle into wherever we are. Start by just slowing down and deliberately breathing in. And then releasing the breath, and again, just consciously paying attention to the breath. Allow ourselves to feel the support if we're sitting in a chair or on a bench. Just feel the support. We might want to take a moment and just pay attention to our feet if they're touching the ground. Pay attention to how our arms are situated. Just scan our bodies and notice if there's any places of tension that are greater than others. And in that noticing, just breathe into those spaces. And breathing out, just see if the tension will follow the breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. And today's meditation is a guided meditation based on a story that I'm sure many people are very familiar with. So in your mind's eye, simply imagine yourself taking a walk. And notice the environment where you find yourself. Are you walking on a path? Are you walking on a sidewalk? Are you walking on a street? Are you walking through a woods? just attend to wherever it is that you have found yourself. And let's just propose, let's just say that this is not unfamiliar. That something in you recognizes this space. So as you are walking in this guided meditation through this familiar space, just pay attention to what you notice. Do you notice the movement of your feet on the ground? Do you notice the strides? Do you notice the space around you? And in this noticing, continuing to keep breathing in and breathing out. And on this familiar path, as you're walking along, suddenly there is an unevenness. And you find yourself tripping. How do you find yourself reacting to this little trip? Is there any kind of judgment about yourself? Any kind of judgment about the path? Any kind of judgment about me guiding you to this place where you could have a trip? Just pay attention to any judgment that arises, or if none arouse, just relax into that. Now, in the story that I'm drawing from to guide this meditation, you find yourself on this same path another day. And in that same spot where you tripped, you trip again. And again, just pay attention to any judgment that arises. Do you think, oh my gosh, I knew that spot was there, and yet I still fell there? Or do you have judgment for me? Golly, Reverend Vaughn, why did you take me down that same path where I could trip again? Or is there a criticism of your body for tripping, for not being able to somehow majestically manage that space? And we come to another day, walking the same path. What will we do? Will we try to walk around that space? And perhaps trip on something else? Will this break our strides and have us moving now in a less comfortable way? What happens? And how do we judge it? Again, just pay attention to any judgment or criticism that arises. And yet, what if, in response to that criticism, in response to that judgment, we react with gratitude? We react with an aha experience. And, oh, I see what's happening here. So coming to a next day, we may take a completely different path. Just breathe in that different path. Breathe in that release from that setting. Breathe in that new opportunity. Breathe in that freedom. And breathing in that freedom, just allow ourselves to pay attention to where and how freedom may live in our bodies. And just put our focus on that freedom that is expressing in and through our bodies. Give ourselves permission to kind of mark that experience of freedom. To just let it inhabit us. Just attend to any feelings associated with embodying freedom. And as we settle into that sensation, allow ourselves to become present again to the chair and the room and the space where we are. Breathing into this room, breathing into this space, letting our fingers and toes wiggle, and as we feel ready, opening our eyes and remembering the path in our minds, that new, open, free space. And so I bring us back to this space and I say, Amen, Ashe, and so it is. So we have our monthly chant. Did we not? Did we do the reading? Okay. So today's reading comes from an anonymous poet. I went to a poetry site, and this was the one that said it wanted to be spoken. I'm green with envy towards the trees of a dark, deep, peaceful forest, who grow and blossom and lose their leaves and lay themselves to rest. I'm jealous of the wildflowers, so young and free and infinite, who sprout and bloom in the midst of June, as if there's nothing to it. Release me, set wild my dreams and release me. Open up my eyes to see the adventure right in front of me, and release me. Whipping winds, warm sunbeams, everything just as it seems, hearts full of love, working through fear, the divine with me, my beloved. And so it is. And now we do the monthly chant, which is, I open to all possibility, accepting all that can be. I join with creation creating. I open my eyes to see Spirit's highest idea of it living as me, life's generosity, giving as me. Let this vision shine for me. Yes, let this vision shine for me. And of course, you know, the second verse will be you, and the third verse will be we, and the fourth verse will come back to I. I open to all possibility, accepting all that can be. I join with creation creating. I open my eyes to see Spirit's highest idea of it living as me. Life's generosity, giving as me. Let this vision shine from me. Yes, let this vision shine from me. Now you open to all possibility, accepting all that can be. You join with creation creating. You open your eyes to see Spirit's highest idea of it living as you. Life's generosity, giving as you. Let this vision shine from you. Yes, let this vision shine from you. Now we open to all possibility, accepting all that can be. We join with creation creating. We open our eyes to see Spirit's highest idea of it living as us. Life's generosity, giving as us. Let this vision shine from us. Yes, let this vision shine from us. I open to all possibility, accepting all that can be. I join with creation creating. I open my eyes to see Spirit's highest idea of it living as me. Life's generosity, giving as me. Let this vision shine from me. Yes, let this vision shine from me.
to your vision. There are mountains to climb, more songs to sing, and tears to be cried. Ooh, there are moments of loss, moments of winning, a lifetime of love. Just keep in my mind, without any doubt, that I am flying higher. Sister, get up, believe in all that you can be. Brother, you got to know who you are. Be strong, hold tight to that vision. No one can ever take it away from you. Oh, be strong, live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to your vision. This is your moment to rise up. You know the sun's coming out. Your new life's starting now. Can't keep you down. Your spirit's rising. Be strong. Be strong. Hold tight to the vision. 'Cause no one can never take it away from you. Be strong and live your life with passion. You got to keep on and hold tight to surrender to sun shining. Your vision.
Good morning. My name's Reverend Mykal Amaré. I had to stop and think who I was for a second. So, here we are on a cloudy day. Yesterday was so beautiful. But, you know, this is March, and we are marching through it. So, today, this month's theme is Open to Possibilities. And you saw that in the Vaughn's rendition of our monthly chant. And last week, Reverend Vaughn opened the month up with the highest idea of our lives through the spiritual practice of visioning. And in that, opening up to the impress of spirit through visioning that allows us to tap into the realm of possibilities much greater than we can ever begin to imagine for ourselves. In visioning, a lot of times we just ask, what is Spirit's highest and best vision for our lives or for something in our lives? And then we listen. We listen to that beautiful, still small voice within us and allow it to speak. Reverend Mykal Beckworth says that 100% of spiritual growth is in letting go. Releasing and letting go of ideas, beliefs, and attachments that no longer serve to create openness and spaciousness. It removes obstacles and impediments in the way of living the vision. Releasing and embracing are where our work lies when it comes to manifesting the vision. I believe in January, we had 5 Sundays, and on our 5th Sunday, our practitioner, Stephanie Scranton, speaks, and I believe she spoke on surrendering and releasing and letting go. And this week was kind of based on that, and so I thought, well, we just had that, and she did such an excellent job. But part of the title of my talk today is Living Your Vision. And part of that is letting go, as Dr. Beckwith says, that we have to let go and to create spaciousness, not only in our material lives, but in our physical being, in our minds, in our thoughts. We need to let go of these things that no longer serve, because I'm quite sure that I don't think I'm the only one that has this big old sack I carry around with these things that just are not needed in my life, and they weigh me down, and they weigh us down in ways that we cannot be open to allow a new vision, or to the vision that we have to expand. And releasing is about making room for a greater good. Because if we don't open space up in our lives, then the good that we're seeking doesn't have room. It's like if you want to take X amount of people in your car and you want to pick up somebody else, you may have to let another person out to make room for the next person. And the releasing is about making room for greater good to be expressed or received. For us to either express it or receive it, take it in. For change to take place, and for healing. I have a few steps here on how we could go about, and invitations I should say, going about living our vision. Because sometimes we get a vision and we don't know exactly what to do with it. Sometimes a vision is greater than anything we've ever been able to imagine. Like going into when I received the call to become a practitioner, that had never been in my conscious mind. It may have been in my subconscious mind somewhere, and it came up through visioning meditation in one of the core classes. And so then you have to look at it and say, oh my, this isn't really what I planned, but then sometimes you just go with it. Because it's Spirit's way of telling you, directing you, guiding you, carrying you into your next vision. And so the first part with a vision is to be bold. Sometimes we hold back. We believe that it's got to be small, it can't be big, and something in our lives can't be big. And by being bold, all visions start with boldness. If not, they should. And this is how you set yourself up for a real possibility. As the theme for the month, open to possibilities. So visioning is opening to possibilities in your life, to new possibilities, or maybe to old possibilities that need to shift somehow. And the key here is to give yourself permission to say, yes, it's okay to dream big, to think big, to go for the gusto. Sometimes I know I a lot of times think too small. If you're going to do it, you might as well go big, that anything is possible. And everything is possible in the Spirit. There's nothing that is impossible. All vision starts with that great sense of possibility. You have to believe in this being possible. Because if you move into it and you say, well, this will never happen, this will never happen, well, what's going to happen? It's not going to happen. So we need to jump into it with that great idea and sense that this is possible. If you start like this is what you will step into. You know, if you start with this great idea of possibility, then you can move into it and step into that. Next is to be intentional. After you've managed the big, bold vision, being intentional is like an internal choice. That internal choice that yes, this is my vision. This is mine. And this is when you decide that you're going to go after this stage of intentionality. This is when you set and say, yes, I am going for this. I am going to, this is my vision now. And then all your actions, your decisions, your choices, and all your thoughts are aligned with this new vision. Everything within you, thoughts, ideas, choices, are all focused on this vision. This is where you might say that you marry your vision in this step, in the intentionality. You commit. This is where you commit to this bold vision that has been thrust upon you might say. You say that everything that I'm going to do from this moment forward is going to be in alignment with this vision. So every step you take is going to be in alignment with this vision. So here's your vision, and everything you do in your daily life is going to align with this vision. Then you move into making it real. After you've come up with this bold vision and made that internal choice to accept that vision and to take it on, there are three main ways to make your vision real. The first one is to write it down. Because if you're like me, I'll have a vision, something will come up through me, and I say, well, I'll write it down later. Well, later comes and poof, it's gone. So write it down. Make it real by putting it on paper. I know when I got that the call to ministry, I went home and told Reverend Vaughn, I said, something else has been calling me, but I'm not ready to verbalize it yet. Because I know that once you verbalize something, an intention or whatever, then that makes it real. And actually, it makes it real even before you verbalize it. But to me, opening my mouth and speaking these words, that's kind of a commitment. So writing it down and putting it somewhere where you can see it. And this is why vision statements and vision boards are so powerful. And this is where you can make a vision board, because you've got the idea that's in your head, you've got it out, you've put it somewhere, you've put it on paper, you've put it on this paper and made it concrete. So by taking it from within to without, you make it real by stating that, yes, this is my vision moving forward. You bring that into reality. The second thing is to set a date. So many times we hear, and I have been guilty of it, well, I'm going to do this when? I'm going to do this someday, someday. Well, someday never comes. I mean, you can always move the date if you have to. commit to a date to achieving this vision. And some may take longer than others. So set that date. When we do that, everything conspires to help us make this vision happen. Because we've committed to it again by setting the date. Putting the date, no matter, I mean, you may have to slide it, and maybe it will come true earlier. But if you make that date, you're committing again. You're marrying yourself to that date. And the third thing is to declare it. To share it with someone. To invite people into your vision. Sometimes, but I feel, this is, I've heard it before, that you need to be mindful of who you invite into that vision. Because if you invite people that are going to say, oh, you can't do that, that'll never happen, that's too big, blah, 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 you do not need the negativity to come in, because that's not going to strengthen your vision. That's not going to give you strength to commit again and to stick to it. Invite people who support you and can share your vision. And that they can give you feedback on it. So now you need to support your vision. That's because I don't know if any of you ever had this self-talk, like I was just saying about somebody else might say that this isn't possible. We need to be careful of that self-talk. Be mindful of it. Because when we're in this vision, if we're moving forward in this vision, if we have the mindset and we're talking about, oh, this is too hard, I can't do this. What if? Or but. I can do this, but. The self-talk needs to be positive, not negative. Positive encouragement. Encourage yourself. I mean, you can talk to yourself. I know I do now and then. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. But we need to talk to ourselves and give ourselves positive assurance and lift ourselves up and hold that vision. In holding that vision, like in Faith Rivera's song, holding the vision, hold on to that vision. And pay attention to your own thoughts, because you're the one who belongs to this vision. It is your vision. You are married to it. You are committed to it. So pay attention to your thoughts, because if you go down that negative road, that vision, it's going to look a little murky. It's not going to pan out. And then find someone that's really close and like a vision buddy, where you can bounce things off of. I know there are people in our lives that support us, and we can do that. We can bounce it off, and we may have to take a little bit of criticism, constructive criticism, that is. But that's what somebody that's close to us, that cares for us, that supports us, does. And we've got to be willing to accept it. That's the other thing. Be willing to accept that constructive criticism. And now you've got to hold on to the vision. Like Faith said in that song. Hold on to the vision. Because on the road to vision, things can get a little difficult sometimes. Sometimes there's things that bumps in the road, as Reverend Vaughn was talking about in his meditation. Because there are probably going to be bumps in the road, but we can get through that. We can get over those bumps. We get around those bumps. We can take a different path to this vision. And it's human nature to get excited about the vision and then start to calculate everything that needs to happen. All the steps that need to be taken, and 1 step, 2 step, 100 steps, you know, and sometimes we get a little disillusioned and a little anxious. I know I get anxious, and it's like, oh. And when I get anxious, I've learned I have to stop, and I've started practicing it, and just breathe. Because otherwise, a lot of things can happen when I get anxious. And sometimes it doesn't look like we thought it would at the beginning. And sometimes we may have to go back and go back into that vision, go back into that contemplation about it and ask for more information. Because maybe something isn't really clear. And so you can just go back in and say, I need more clarity. I need more information. And you know what? It'll be given. And sometimes when you get boggled down by the amount of steps it may take, that's when a lot of people give up their vision. And that's where you have to go back and you have to recommit to it. You have to say yes. And sometimes you may have to go back and reevaluate and say, is this really where I want to go? And if it is, it'll say yes. So, and also you can be open to surprises, because sometimes moving on through this vision, things have come up, and I like to think of surprises as good things. Like, I used to love the surprises in Cracker Jack boxes. Nowadays, all you get is a piece of paper or something. You don't get any little toys or anything. But there should be surprises along the way. So be open to them, be aware of them, and recognize them. And sometimes you have to let go of how things look at the moment. Because Spirit's idea, I would say 99.9% of the time, Spirit's idea for our vision for our life is more right on than mine is. Because sometimes we as humans, we want, or for me especially, I get into something and I'm thinking it's got to look this way, and it's like I have these huge blinders on. And then I have to let go of that, because, you know, when you declare that you want something, and even in this vision, you have to be open to expecting it maybe not looking exactly like you think it should. Odds are it's probably going to turn out better. Holding on to the vision and seeing where it takes you exactly, you'll find out exactly that you're exactly where you're supposed to be in this process. So you can just say, I'm holding on to this vision. This is my vision. This is Spirit's vision for me. And I like to think of that because so many times I think it's me doing it. Well, in essence, it's not really me doing it. Yes, I may do the physical steps. And I have to do a lot of physical steps. Like we say, you pray and treat and move your feet. And it's like, I do it real simple. I said, if you really want a sandwich and you're sitting on the couch, that sandwich is not going to come walking to you. You're going to have to get up and make it or get it. Or have someone bring it to you. And now what you can do is you can experiment with this. Experiment with this vision. Try these steps and practices for the next, 30 days, maybe a week, maybe 10 days. Just kind of move it out, because sometimes 30 days seems like a long time. And as humans, we're always looking for evidence to back up our underlying beliefs. I need to have evidence. I need to have proof. And I'm still like that in a lot of ways. I said, you have to prove something to me before I can really accepted in a lot of things, but not, I'm finding that's not true in everything. So we need to, as we're moving through the process of this vision, we need to gather evidence. You know, we document, we journal. Journal is an excellent way of keeping your vision going and seeing the progress from step 1 to step, say, 4. Move on and practice this. Take baby steps. I mean, a lot of times that's what we have to do. We have to take baby steps to get where we're going. But eventually we'll be able to get out, and as babies grow into children, into adults, take wider, longer strides, we'll do this in our practicing, living this vision, living our vision, living your vision. So, if you try it, if you keep trying this over and over again, you're building up your, what they call vision muscle. Because most things in life, we have to practice at. I mean, you just didn't get up and start walking. Well, maybe somebody did, but you had to crawl first. And when you practice, I remember my baby sister when she just couldn't get it when she was learning to walk. I mean, she had more accidents. Like she'd be walking around the coffee table, bang, she'd fall down and smack her head on the table. I mean, things like that happen even in our vision. We may fall down, but we got to get back up again. Oh, I heard a song. But we need to build that muscle, that our vision muscle, and prove to ourselves that it works. I think sometimes we need the proof, and who's going to prove it other than ourselves? Are you going to believe others, or will you believe yourself more that you can do this? This vision is yours, and you've claimed it, you've affirmed it, you've started off with a bold vision, and now you move into owning it. You've already married it, so now you're owning it. You're going to get the pink slip. And finally, this is the most important step, is to own it. This is my vision. You have a vision statement. You've written it down. You've asked for others to support you in it. And you're supporting yourself by watching your thoughts, your self-talk. That little, like we used to see in cartoons, you have the little angel here and the little devil here, and saying, they're going back and forth. We have those internal voices. I know I have a committee, and I hate it when they get together for their board meetings. I just want to chase them out of there. And so, own your vision. Stand firm in it. Own it. Knowing that this is what Spirit has in mind for you at this moment. And this is where you move through the vision as if it's already happening. Just like in treatment. We treat that it's already done. That it is right here and right now, already present, already happening, already formed. So we have to act as if that it is right here and right now done. So if it was already done, what would it be like to wake up in the morning and this vision of yours was done? How would you sleep at night? Would you sleep more restful, more peaceful, knowing that this vision is already here? Not worrying about it, not stressing about it, but acting, moving through your day as if my vision is already done. In the same way, if that vision was already done, No, take the if out of there. The vision is already complete. How would you relate to other people? How would they relate to you? Would there be a difference? Would there be, no. Sometimes how we relate to people is we've got stuff going on in our lives. And it's hard to relate to some other people because they've got stuff going on in their lives. And sometimes we can, if you come together and let this stuff that's going on kind of just sit, and you come together, and this vision that you have is already done, and possibly their vision is, and then you can come together and relate in a supportive way. Because sometimes once we've let go of a lot of things, like we've released and let go of all the stuff that doesn't work for us anymore, communicating and being with others too can be a lot easier. Because if we carry all this stuff around, it boggles our minds, and we are not, we're not capable of communicating and being with another individual. So try this experiment and see what the results come up in your life, and see if it can benefit you and others around you, because everything we do spreads out around us, whether we think so or not. Our actions cause reactions in the world. So there's this quote by Eugene Holden. He's a practitioner. He leads the World Ministry of Prayer. And in 2018, Science of Mind, he wrote, fear keeps us hanging on to what doesn't work in our lives. It also keeps us from surrendering to our good. Surrender has two sides. We surrender all that does not serve us, then we surrender to our greater good. So we surrender and release all that doesn't serve us, all that doesn't work in our lives, and sometimes that's people. Sometimes we have to release people because they're not working in our lives for one reason or another. And then we need to surrender to the good that's coming in. So we're opening up, we're allowing more good in. And the Science of Mind Trinity summed up in this statement. When your attention goes, energy flows. Where your attention goes, energy flows, and manifestation follows. Putting your conscious attention on asking for Spirit's highest vision of what needs to be released and on what needs to be released is what needs to be done. And keeping that attention on the question until the answer comes. Sometimes we ask a question in meditation or contemplation, and we already, I know this is true for me, sometimes there's something I want it to be, but what comes up is not it, so I need to pay attention long enough. I remember in Egypt, when we were doing a meditation, I think it was the temple at Karnak, and we were directed to allow a word to come to us. And I went into that meditation. I wanted this one word to come. That word never came. But another one did. So sometimes, Spirit does know, what's better for us. And so we're manifesting the vision by committing to embrace the conscious and creative mind. So it's be bold, be intentional, make it real, support it, hold on to the vision, experiment, and own it. So you go from a bold vision to owning it, to saying, this is my vision. And I want to end on this quote from Ernest Holmes from the Science of Mind, or Living the Science of Mind. He said, we must increase our receptivity, continuously extend and expand our comprehension. We shall declare 100 times a day, there is no limit to the good which is mine. There is no limit to the good which is mine. And so it is. And so I want to thank everybody for being here on Zoom or Facebook or in the house. Next week, Reverend Pamela Beatty, founder, will be speaking. She speaks the third Sunday of every month. And next week is also our annual meeting. After the talk, we'll be doing that via Zoom. So if anybody's interested, you can join in. And I just want to end by saying that we are grateful. I am grateful. And we as holders of this sacred space are grateful for each and every person that has ever entered or watched Northern Lights Spiritual Center. For we are here on purpose. This is a vision. This was a vision. And it's a vision that's carrying through. And so I give thanks for everyone that has been part of this. And knowing that we each are living our own vision. And our vision can change. And that's okay. Each step that we make, we are guided, we're supported. And so during this week, I just invite you to find your vision, if you don't have it. To sit, to listen, to be still. Because it will come. And so I give thanks, I let it be, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen and hallelujah. Oh, shut it off, right?
I'm trying to. I keep pressing finish, but it doesn't.
Well, you got this up here, it says something.